Guys, thanks for tuning in to the e-Business Boss channel. Today's video is all about finding winning products on Amazon. So in this video, I team up with Bradley from Helium 10. We're going to run you guys through the process that we follow to find winning product opportunities on Amazon. Yeah. If you find this video useful, I'd really appreciate the like. And if you're into this sort of content, guys, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of you. So there's going to be loads more of these useful videos coming soon. Let's dive straight into the video.
And what I'm going to show you guys is not necessarily, the right, the wrong, or the only way, or even doesn't even have to be Helium 10. I mean, there's plenty of tools that can do this, but this is just, something, a brief overview of what I use. And then you guys can kind of tweak this method based on what I'm showing you. But the bottom line is I like looking for where there's something, I'm looking for a product. I want to find a product that's selling pretty well already, but there's characteristics about it that would lead me to believe that I could do something better, or maybe that they're overachieving. Or that there's not that much competition based on their metrics. Okay, so I'm going to show you about that completely live. This is not recorded or anything. So just to show that, Nick, why don't you tell me what kind of category to look in?
Okay, so why don't we imagine that obviously Amazon, it's a brand building game, guys. I say this a lot. We want to focus in on one category and build a strong brand. So why don't we look at let's look at home and kitchen.
Okay.
It's a big, powerful category, isn't it? I mean, yes, there's a lot.
Absolutely. Home and kitchen is a very big one. And it's actually good because sometimes if you were to pick something that's like cell phone accessories, almost everything in there is very saturated. Other ones might be a little bit, the barrier to entry is a little bit harder, like electronics. A lot of people want to stay away from electronics, maybe in their beginning, the technical aspects of it, but home and kitchen is a pretty good one. So again, this is just what I do. I put here, I want to see products that are making at least $10,000 a month. I mean, and that's just me. I mean, you could put 1,000, you could put 50,000, whatever is your goal. And then the next thing I do is just me personally, I like doing things between like around $16 and $28. Now, the reason why I don't go too low is because if I'm doing like a product that's retailing for $10, well, yeah, I can probably sell a lot. But once you consider manufacturing costs and Amazon fees, shipping and logistics and tariffs and all that stuff, your margin is going to be pretty low. So me personally, 16, 18 is kind of like my lower floor for that. At the same time, a lot of you are just starting out. You might not have that much capital. So yeah, maybe if you have a $50 product, there's not going to be much competition, but a $50 product might cost you $10, $15 or something. And if you're having to put a MOQ of 1,000 units, well, that might be a little bit out of your price range. So again, that's why I just put that number, but you guys put whatever you want.
Yeah. I also like to leave, I like to leave a little bit of margin, guys, for driving external traffic. You don't need it to succeed nowadays, but like Bradley says, it is just great to leave yourself a little bit of a margin. Facebook ads, Google AdWords, whatever your strategy, if your product's above, say, $15, $16, you're leaving yourself a little bit more room.
Exactly. Another thing I'd like to do is I put a max of 100 reviews. This is just me personally. The reason why I do this is on Amazon, if you see something with 1,000 reviews or 3,000 reviews, that means it's probably an established listing on Amazon. Amazon gives a lot of preference to listings that have a lot of sales history and buyers too. Buyers see something that has 3,000 reviews and then they see your brand new product next to it that has 1 or 2 reviews. 9 times out of 10, they're going to click on something that has a lot of reviews. And so it's going to be very difficult to quote unquote steal sales from something that is very established. However, if I see something that's already selling $10,000 a month, but it has less than 100 reviews, to me, that's an indicator it might be a new, something new. It's a newer product. And then plus 2, you put my brand new product with 3 reviews next to something with 80 reviews. That's a lot more likely that they still might click on my product as opposed to if I'm right next to all these ones that have thousands of reviews. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. The other thing I like to do is review rating of 3.5 or less. And again, American customers, I'm sure it's the same in Europe. If you see 10 products right there, all with 4.5 or 5 stars, and then you see a product with 3 stars, well, you would probably never click on that 3-star one. So just the fact that if Black Box can find me a product that's making $10,000 a month or selling $10,000 a month, but maybe only has 3 or 2.5 stars, to me, that could be an indicator of, well, maybe there's just no competition, so that they have to pick that one. That's like the best of what's available. Or everybody has low ratings. So again, if I come in with a 5-star product or a 4-star product, well, then people right off the bat are going to be more inclined to pick my product. And then, yes, I might be able to steal sales from this.
Bradley, I know we spoke about it very briefly when we were on a call earlier, but if the general trend of review rating is quite low, there might be a chance that you might well be able to improve on the product, with your manufacturer.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely. And we're going to go a little bit into that later. There's actually a cool tool that I use that it's a technique that anybody should use regardless of what tool you use. And before Helium 10 had this, I was hiring a VA to do it, and it would take hours and hours. And literally to do it now takes 2 minutes. So I'm going to show you guys what that is a little bit later, but Nick is 100% right. You've got to be looking at your competitor reviews. One more thing, everything I've given so far, that's just kind of like the general thing that's standard. I mean, no matter what tool that you have or different software, they all kind of have these real similar filters, and these are all important. But one thing I believe that is a little bit unique that I use is the number of images. And the reason is American buyers, they base their purchases off of the number or the images, the bullet points, a couple bullet points and images. If you don't catch them with those, they're just going to move on to the other, to the next product. Yeah. And if they only see a product with 2 images, for example, there's 2 things that's happening. Number one is there might not be enough data or enough to show them why they need to get that. Like maybe they want to see different angles or how it's used. If they only see 2 images, like I'm not seeing enough here. Number 2, it just doesn't look like a professional listing. If you only have 1 or 2 images, and a lot of times buyers will get the mentality like, well, this guy doesn't even know how to make an Amazon listing. Yeah. How am I supposed to think that they're going to make a product that's reliable? They can't even make an Amazon listing. So again, if I can find a product that only has a couple images, but still selling $10,000 a month, it might be signifying that there's not much competition. At the very least, it's an opportunity for me to come in and improve that listing and then steal some sales, from them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't utilize, don't utilize social proof. So working with influencers, guys, you can find people out there. You can send them your product for free. They'll take some images, using your product. You can repurpose that on your Amazon listing. Have a designer mock up something that looks good, and like Bradley says, capitalize. Exactly. People are sort of leaving blank.
Exactly. So the next thing, there's plenty of other categories here. That's why we have all these filters, and you guys play around with this. But I'm just going to go ahead and hit search to see if there's anything. So basically, what I'm telling Helium 10 is, find me a product in your database. And by the way, our database is the largest in the industry. Outside of Amazon, we have the most products in our database. It's 450 million products we have in our database, including ones that have gone out of stock recently. So things that you wouldn't even be able to find in a search right now on Amazon, but you'd find it here in Helium 10. And I basically said, hey, show me something in the home and kitchen category. It's selling at least $10,000 a month. Its retail price is between $16 and $28. It has less than 100 reviews, less than 3.5 stars out of 5, and 4 images or less. So it actually came up with 99 products that meet all this criteria. Now, the first thing I do is I try and not, I don't want to see anything that's brand names, because we're private label sellers, as you are, and you want to compare apples to apples. You have a Nike shoes. People who are searching for Nike shoes, they don't care if it has 2 stars or 5 stars or anything. They know that's the shoes they want. So we want an apples to apples comparison here. So I'm just going to briefly scan over here. Things like this looks like a brand name, so I'm not going to consider it. But let's see. Here's something that's interesting. Bright Star 150 count 8 function chasing light set. So I'm going to click on this. And this, this could be, I don't know, but this could be maybe not a brand name. I have never heard of this brand.
No, I haven't.
It meets those criteria I mentioned. Look, there's only 3 images here, right? So, and this looks pretty ugly. I mean, obviously they don't know how to make a good listing. Look at these bullet points. Usually if their images are bad, their copy is going to be bad too. And you see that right here. There's only really terrible bullet points here.
It's so bad.
Yeah, 3.4 stars. It met that criteria. Less than 100, only 25. Yet it's making, it's selling around $15,000 a month. So I'm not saying everybody go run out and source this from Alibaba. I'm just saying this is something, okay, I'm going to save that product and I might look into this a little bit further. You keep going here and there's always different things you find here. Look at this one. Hangman 20-piece Christmas lights hanger hooks. Let me click on this one. They don't even have a buy box right now. So probably the main guy is probably out of stock.
Yeah. 2
images, 3.6 stars. So their rating actually just went up in the last couple of days. Only 25 reviews. And they're making $43,000 a month. Now, a lot of these are going to be seasonal. You know, being December, Christmas items are very hot right now. So I'm sure this is going to die off. But this is very interesting. I would save this and take a look at it, you know, for maybe July or August. This might be a product that I could be interested in. 10 loop red velvet bows. I mean, a lot of this stuff, who would have ever thought of looking for sourcing a product like this? This product here, which I don't even know what it is making about $17,000 a month. They've only got 10 reviews, 3.2 rating. Let me see how many images they have. 3 images that are almost all the same thing.
Wow.
Nice. There's opportunity out there. All right. So this is just, I mean, what? This took me 5 minutes to find different ideas. And this is just in one category. And with that set of criteria, which was actually pretty narrow. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that there are products out there that's doing that much of sales that have all those things wrong with it.
Yeah.
But you see how easy it is to find, you know, products on Amazon.
Yeah. And I remember, Bradley, when I started out, years and years ago now, I didn't use helium 10. Obviously, the black box wasn't about back then either, I don't think. But I would look for products like this, and it would take me weeks. And I'm, you know, when I was working full time, I'm spending my time trawling Amazon. I'd go and have a look at best-selling products in Amazon.de, Germany, then look at that, look at a best-selling product in that category, go and compare it over in Amazon US and move between marketplaces. And it used to take me weeks. And that, how long was that? It was about 5 minutes.
What, 5 minutes? Yeah, pretty much 5 minutes. Yeah. That's how easy it is. I mean, and when I say easy, I don't want to fool anybody. You know, Amazon is not quote unquote easy, but compared to spending weeks, like, you know, like what people had to do in the good old days, it is relatively easier. But it does take a lot of work. But if you're trying to do this on your own, good luck. I mean, how would you find that? You know, how would you just go to Amazon.com and try and find something that's doing that? It'd be impossible without the right tools.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, that was really useful. And guys, you can see why I use helium 10 and why I thought you guys would find this video / tutorial with Bradley useful. So, yeah, do we have time just to move on to a couple of questions, Bradley?
Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, obviously we've been talking about product research. So yeah, the first thing I'll ask you is, okay, so you find a product, it's selling really well. How would you go about improving on a product that's already doing really well? So yeah.
So let's do this from the standpoint that this is your own product, right? Like maybe you're doing excellent. Like there's one example that I always like to go in the videos that I do, or one niche is very saturated niche, all right? Collagen peptides. Some of these guys on the top page right here are selling, like I just know, you know, based on the information, I've looked at it so many times. This guy is doing $1.7 million a month on this product. This guy is doing $2 million a month. This one here is doing about 700,000. So maybe you're this guy here, like you're already have one product and it's a 7-figure product, you know, yearly for you, you know, easily.
Yeah.
But obviously you might have some room for improvement because these guys are brand names and they're getting a lot of sales for the brand name, but you're maybe just a, you know, new, you know, private label. So here's one thing that I think is a big mistake that even the best sellers do, especially in America. I'm sure it's the same in the same way in Europe is what happens is As I said, the most important things are images and bullet points, you know, to catch those people who have a very short attention span. And the bullet points, what happens is sellers sometimes just focus too much on keywords. All right.
Yeah.
And you know, they've done their keyword research and they got to make sure this is in their listing. They know the bullet points are very important for indexing and for relevancy and things like that. And they're really just focused on, hey, let me get these really important keywords. And that's somewhat important. However, the very first and second bullet point, especially like right here, sometimes that's all that's visible. You can see my screen, right? Okay, sometimes that's all that's visible. As you can see here, you'd actually have to click more. So these first two things, what I always try and tell everybody is you've got to make sure this is making some kind of emotional connection to your buyers and also convincing them why they need to buy that product. You know, there's two kinds of sellers, or I'm sorry, buyers out there. You know, there's people who search for a brand name. They already know what they want to get. They'll search for, what was the other one? Sports research, collagen peptides. It doesn't matter what shows up in the search results. They already know what they're going to buy because they're ordering by the brand name and they're just looking for it. As soon as they see it, they're going to buy it. If you're a private label seller, you'd love to get to that point eventually. But the way to get to that brand recognition is you've got to build your brand. You've got to capture the other kind of buyer. Now, the other kind of buyer are the people who aren't searching for a brand or a specific product. They're just searching for collagen peptides. And like, okay, show me what you got, Amazon. And let me just start window shopping and seeing. Those kind of people, you've got to capture them right away to show them why you need to pick my products. Now, this is, again, I can't talk too bad about this guy because like I said, he's selling $700,000 a month. But take a look here at this bullet point. Stanmex collagen is enzymatically processed to ensure intact peptides property. Sourced from pasture-raised, grass-fed, non-GMO, type Roman numeral 1 and Roman numeral 3, 100% natural hydrolyzed collagen. I've already fallen asleep here.
I was falling asleep.
I could not care less about any of these things. If I was a general buyer and I saw this and bullet point was important to me, you just lost me. There's nothing in there that tells me why I need to get this unless I'm like some scientist or somebody who understands what the heck enzymatically or hydrolyzed, means. I'm sure those are important keywords. Maybe they're search terms. So maybe they need to get indexed for it, but this is not the place to put those things. So how would I change this listing? What I would do is I'm like wondering what's on the mind of my customers. Now, Nick had mentioned the strategy of when you're formulating your product or in the development stage, you look at your competitors' reviews to find out what people didn't like about it. Maybe look at their 1-star review. So with Helium 10, you hit what's called the review downloader. And you could say, hey, show me all the reviews from the last year, from December, and maybe only the 1-star reviews. Let me just see what people are complaining about this. How can I improve it? Or maybe you're like, hey, just show me, the 5-star reviews. And I want to see what everybody loves about my competitor. I've got to make sure to have that. But as far as improving a listing or something that could be even more important than these is I like to look at every single review. And the reason is this, I'm going to go ahead and do this. It's going to find all the reviews right now. And before, what I would do is I would actually have a VA sit there and take 1 week. It would take a week. If you were to look at 700 reviews, I would say read every review and tabulate the most common things that are coming up. And if you have something 800, 2,000 reviews and each one like a paragraph or two, you've got to have an eagle eye VA to actually go out there and find common phrases and then start tabulating how many times they're used. And if that's what you have, great. Keep doing it. This is very important because I want to see what's on the mind of my customers. But watch this, what this tool does. I just hit this button, analysis. And what this does in literally half of 1 second, it tabulates any 2, 3, 4, or 5 word phrases that keep appearing and sorts them in descending order. So now all of a sudden, I know what phrases are being mentioned the most. And a lot of times, it's very common things. Like I would expect collagen peptides to be one of the most talked about things in the reviews of a collagen peptides. And you see that here, but look at this. You might be like, in my coffee, this is a supplement. This must be a mistake. Why in the world is in my coffee mentioned? It says here 53 times. So you might be thinking, well, this makes no sense. You don't have to guess about it. Watch this. I'm just going to click this right here. Every single time in my coffee has come up in those reviews, it highlights it right here. Now I can read the context. So take a look at this. It says, I use a scoop daily in my coffee. I use it every morning in my coffee and couldn't be happier. I start my day by using it in my coffee. I put a scoop in my coffee every morning and dissolves instantly. I usually add a scoop in my coffee every morning and I can't taste it. So all of a sudden you might not have even known that that's what's on people's mind, especially if you're making a new product, or if this is yours, maybe you had no idea that that's what people were using your product for. But now I would, using this information, I would go back here and instead of all this nonsense, I would put, are you looking for some easily dissolvable protein peptides that you can have in your coffee every morning? And then all of a sudden the buyers will be like, whoa, that's exactly what I was looking for. Now here's the interesting thing. This is not a search term. You might have done the best keyword research ever about what people search for, but this is something that's mental, emotional. They don't search for what can I put in my coffee? No, they're searching for collagen peptides. So you could have done the best keyword research ever, and you might not have found that term in my coffee, but it's still very important to get in your listing because that's what's on buyers' minds. And that's kind of like what I tell people about how amazing of an opportunity Amazon is. If you're a traditional manufacturer of collagen peptides and you sell to Walmart or a grocery store, you can't go to the shelf there, look at your competitors and say, I wonder what was on the mind of the customers for my competitors who bought my competitors' products right before they bought that. What were they thinking about, or what's important to them? You have no idea. You're not psychic. But with Amazon, because of these reviews, you can actually go there and look at your competitors' reviews and literally know what was on the mind of their buyers, because those buyers, if your product is going to be similar, is going to be the same kind of buyers that you want to attract. So now all of a sudden they're like, wow, these people must have read my mind. I was literally looking for something of a collagen peptides I can put in my coffee. How do they know? That is so much more converting than putting enzymatically processed natural hydrolyzed, So what do you, Nick, did you even know that helium-10 could do that?
Yeah, I had seen it.
Excellent.
But hadn't had it explained to me like that. And it is just invaluable data. There is so much data because of the internet. You need to be able to understand how you can use it to benefit you and your Amazon product. So that was, really useful. And I found that incredibly useful. So, yeah.
And like I said, you don't need to use helium-10. The reviews are out there. Anybody can see the reviews. So whatever technique you use, hire a VA, do it yourself, but do not underestimate the power of reading your competitors or even your own reviews. There might be people talking about your product that you don't even realize that they're talking about it, and then use that information to go back and modify your listing offer. But as you can see with the helium-10, just makes it a 3-minute job. But even if you don't use it, don't forget to do that, because sometimes we start a product right and we're just in cruise control. We just let it go, and even if we're doing good, we're like, you don't mess with perfection. Well, there's always room for improvement. With that.
You can tailor your marketing campaigns to literally answer the questions your potential buyers are going to be asking.
Exactly.
Can't ask for anything more than that. So if you're not using it, you should be, and that's how you use it. On to my last question.
Sure.
Bradley, and thanks for that, because that was incredibly useful. What do you think? So this is related, but we'll imagine now that we found a product that we think, we're gonna go for this. We're gonna make a load of money on this. In 2019, what do you think is going to be the most effective product launch strategy?
That's a good question.
I throw a curveball at you. Last sort of question of the interview.
There's definite trends. I think more and more the use of Amazon's advertising, PPC, is going to be important. I mean, they're even launching things where now you might not even have to have the Vendor Central or Vendor Express in order to do the product targeting ads, where you can actually, you know, like this, like right here is kind of like what I'm talking about, though, the product ads, where, you know, this company can literally target this exact ASIN and say, hey, show me my product right under the buy box. I mean, that's so powerful. I mean, 99% of sellers don't have access to this kind of thing, but there's rumors that everybody soon is going to be able to do this. You know, even if you don't have Vendor Express, things like this are getting more and more prevalent, and Amazon definitely likes people using their platform, because they're going to get money 2 times. They're getting money on their commission, and they're getting money on the pay-per-click. So that more and more, I think, is going to be important. Also the use of social media. Social media and influencers talking about the product. Amazon loves outside traffic, you know, and so if you're sending traffic to your listing, you know, from an influencer from YouTube or from Instagram or a blog, you know, Amazon's gonna like that. One thing that could go away at any day, but until it does, it's still very important, in my opinion, in launches, is people who do, you know, launches, you know, for specific keywords, you know, using the giveaway method, where they'll give a coupon for like 80% off, 90% off, just to get a whole bunch of people to search for their product and then choose it so that they can get ranked. Because at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, is if you're not visible in a search results for the important keywords, your product is not going to get seen. Okay. Now, of course, you can get around that by doing the PPC. You know, you're sending, you know, traffic directly there from PPC, or an influencer sending traffic directly, you know, to your listing. But the majority of sales still and always will be organic searches on Amazon. So what strategy in 2019 is going to get you to, you know, quote unquote, page 1 for certain listings? That's to be determined. But right now, giveaways are still working well. We just did a podcast on the AM/PM podcast, where Manny and I interviewed four top companies doing that. Like, I believe it was Six Leaf and Rebate Key and I don't know, ZonJump maybe, but they told us they're still doing hundreds a day. Hundreds of sellers are doing this per day. It's still working. It's getting a little bit harder than it was in the past, you know, depending on different aspects like length of promotion or percentage off and things like that. But still, I view that as very important to getting your product visible. And then also the last thing is really diversifying the marketplaces. You know, don't just focus on UK. Don't just focus on the USA for the American sellers out there. You're limiting what you can do. Amazon is opening it up in so many places, right? You know, you've got Japan, you've got now, I think Turkey just launched, you've got Brazil, Australia is really coming on strong as a marketplace. And so if you've got a product and you have the logistics handle, don't just focus on don't just focus on your home marketplace. Expand out, take advantage of Amazon. And then, you know, maybe something happens in one marketplace. You're not going to be totally screwed. Like, oh, my whole business is gone because everything I had was in Amazon Germany, and they have my product under hazmat review or something like that. No, you're still getting money from US, from Australia, from Japan. And for those of you selling in the US and other countries, don't just focus on Amazon. You know, start with Amazon. Amazon's by far the easiest place to start your private label brand and the easiest way to scale. But once you have some kind of brand recognition, branch out to, in America, Walmart.com, Jet.com. I know in Europe they have their own marketplaces, but just diversify your products as many places as possible. But you can't get to that point unless you really build your brand first on Amazon, you know, which is what, you know, Nick is helping you guys do. So you guys are on the right path.
Yeah, no, I love it. And I've found this incredibly useful. Guys, if you want to give Helium 10 a try and you want to put some of these techniques into action, I'm going to leave a link below where you can get yourself on the free plan if you just want to test it out for free. If you do want to take it up a couple of levels, I'm going to leave a couple of discount codes. EBOS10 will get you 10% off any plan. EBOS50 will get you 50% off the first month. And that will give you a really good chance to try it out. Again,
and if you guys are serious about your Amazon business, take them up. Take them up on those. I mean, maybe you're already sure you've seen enough. I think Helium 10 is what I'm going to use forever. Use that 10% off coupon because that gives you a lifetime. But if you're kind of on the fence, you're not sure, do that 50% off. You know, you could do the free, but if you're serious about your Amazon business, you need at least 3 or 4 weeks to test the full version, because there's over 20 tools in Helium 10 suite that you need. That's for the product research, the keyword research, or the profits. You can actually have a profit calculator. You can see your daily sales. I mean, there's so many things that is really important. I want you guys to do it. And then don't spread this information out. But if you go on one of the paid plans and you're not satisfied, or you decide to stop selling on Amazon before 30 days, you can email customer support and they'll refund your money. So really there's no risk, for you to take up that 50% offer, do it. And then if you love it and it's great for you, look, you just came up with a tool that's going to help you. But if you don't like it, hey, I understand that. Just ask for your money back. And you're not even out one, what do you call it? It's not cent. It's cents over here. What?
1 pence or 1 cent.
1 pence. There you go. Okay.
Euros, pounds, whatever you guys are watching. No, that's incredible. And what else I'm going to do, guys, I've written a 5,000 word plus article. It reviews all of Helium 10's tools, but I actually show you how I use each tool within my business. So I'm going to leave a link to that article below. So yeah, hopefully you guys have found this valuable. I mean, I found this incredibly valuable. So all that's, I think, left to say is, Bradley, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for coming on the E-Business Boss channel. Maybe one day we'll have you on here again, but yeah, I mean, I've really, really enjoyed it. I found it incredibly useful.
All right. And then next time, maybe we'll do like a Facebook Live in the group. So then if you guys have any live questions, it doesn't have to be about Helium 10. I have a lot of experience on Amazon. Let me know, and then let Nick know, and then he'll invite me on. We'll do a live broadcast, kind of like a Ask Me Anything or something for you guys.
Guys, thanks for watching the video. I really do appreciate all of you. And yeah, I really hope you found that useful. If you did, please hit the like button to show your support, and if you're into this sort of content, subscribe to the channel. But yeah, as mentioned, if you want to sort of put some of these techniques into practice for yourself, you can have a look in the description below. There'll be a link to Helium 10. They do have a free plan, so you can check that out. Or if you want to see if it works for a month, you could use my coupon, which is EBOSS50. That would give you the first month sort of half price. So if you wanted to do that just to trial it out, you could use that and sort of save half. Or if you're looking at it for the longer term, you can use EBOSS10, which is another one of my links, and that'll give you 10% off any plan. So I'll leave everything in the description below. And yeah, just a sort of disclaimer, they will be affiliate links, so if you guys do go ahead and purchase anything, I'll make a small commission at no additional cost to you. So thanks again for watching, guys. More from us very soon.